So today is the 11th of April 2019, and I am following up on some of the issues that I ran into with Clackamas County last autumn when my car was uh, damaged by a hit and run driver who left the scene, and I dialed 911. She was uninsured. She refused to give me insurance. This was Jenna Diane McClure by Government Camp, Oregon, and Tyler Alexander, the deputy who responded. Uh, Took over an hour to get there. She had left the scene. She came back with fraudulent information in terms of faking an insurance where the car did not belong to her. It was uninsured, and she did not provide me with an address either. So I spent over 100 days last autumn, just to recap, trying to get an address for her so that I could take her to small claims as per the advice of local law enforcement. But she was also inebriated that night and was coming out of a bar that night when the incident happened, and the officer responded, failed to check her insurance. He laughed about it with her. He failed to make a proper ticket for her being uninsured and to be driving a vehicle uninsured that night. He failed to do anything about the fact she was drunk, and he also failed to do anything about the fact that she was in a car that didn't belong to her. And I'm sure I'm missing something else, something else that she was doing wrong there. But uninsured, drunk, car, refused to do the breathalyzer test, and didn't check the insurance either, but she left the scene. So she needed to get a citation for leaving the scene of the incident that night as well. He needed to check her insurance. He took way too long to get up there. The problem is, and we went into it, all the issues with clackamas, right? Clackamas County, these are the guys who took the photo of the person in the jail cell with their flip phone as he died. A soldier as he died and he overdosed in drugs instead of getting him medical help. These are the people who have indecent exposure, right? These people are criminals. Indecent exposure. They did a calendar photo shoot miming faggot, homosexual acts in the courthouse, implying that these are gay sexual predators who are working in uniform in this county. And there's clearly issues where they're time and time again enforcing laws against men, but not against women. So there is not equality here. And these people are a disgrace to America. Now, here we are. We've done this, right? We've seen all. This is just the cream of the top. There are millions of other problems with Clackamas. I don't want to go into it. We've done research on this. April 11th, Jim Bernard. Okay, the commissioner council is sort of like the ones who run this, and so I'm like, let's try to talk to these guys and try to make headway with these guys, because the police force run by Craig Roberts is a disgrace. And he is someone who, when you go in and talk to the sheriff's department, the staff there, they say they've never seen Craig Roberts and they don't know who he is. So if he is an acting sheriff, he is clearly hands off and he's hiding from his actual employees. Because on the record, the people, when you go into the Sunnybrook Road location, they say they have never met or seen that individual, Craig Roberts. That's what they told me. So what we're dealing with, though, is the chair is Jim Bernard of Clackamas County Commissioner, and I do a quick Google search trying to get a contact for this guy. I want to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. They're elected officials. There's political corruption everywhere and everything, right? Let's try to cut through the mud and talk to someone man to man, and get some headway on this. And unfortunately, I looked these people up, and I already made efforts to contact their thing in terms of their email and their phone number about this issue and set up a meeting, etc., about the issues I ran into with their law enforcement doing things incorrectly. But what we run into, let me just pull up the screen again here. It looks like he's under a state ethics investigation starting in October 12th, which is right after this happened. And there's some issues where he broke state nepotism laws, and something about he's married to someone and they're doing something, and it says March 6th, 2019, Oregon Live. The agency opened an investigation into Commissioner Jim Bernard after receiving a complaint from now retired. Let's see if we can scroll down through this. He broke state ethics laws when he used his official position in government email to urge the county to hand over records to his wife for a possible lawsuit against the county, according to an Oregon Government Ethics Commission. The agency, I don't know what agency it is, opened an investigation into Commissioner Jim Bernard last year after receiving a complaint from now retired County Treasurer Sherry Anderson. Anderson made multiple allegations about Bernard's conduct related to his wife's employment. Bernard is married to Danielle Cohen, Executive Director of Clackamas County Tourism and Cultural Affairs. An Ethics Commission investigator didn't find sufficient evidence to support some of Anderson's allegations, but she recommended that the commission find that Bernard violated two state laws, one prohibiting public officials from using their positions for financial gain, and the other dealing with declaring conflicts of interest. Investigator Haley Whedon concluded that Bernard had committed ethics violations when he used his position in government email to urge county officials to release information to his wife that could financially impact her, and when he failed to declare a conflict of interest at a meeting where his wife's request for information was discussed. And the Ethics Commission is scheduled to meet Thursday to review these recommendations. And this is a March 2019 article, so just within the last month. And if it accepts them, Bernard may appeal to an administrative law judge. Bernard said he's confident the commission will find no ethics violations. The violations center on an executive session in November 2017 and two emails Bernard sent that month urging the county to comply with a request from his wife's lawyer for records. I'm just reading this, right? And this is the first time I've looked at this. Honestly, though, I'm reading it, and if he's making requests for records, it doesn't seem, I'm missing the connection to like a position about his wife. It sounds like his wife wants to put a lawsuit against the county, and to me that sounds right on par with everyone else who has lawsuits against this county. So if the cops are trying to throw mud at the commissioner, I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying though, and that's my first time reading that out loud. So clearly I could be reading it wrong. But let's just look a little closer at this. According to Ethics Commission's records, Bernard sent the emails as Cohen threatened to sue the county, alleging, and Cohen, I believe, is his wife. Cohen threatened to sue the county, alleging that false and defamatory statements had been made about her during the executive session in June 2017. So his wife, wants to sue the county because they said something about her in executive session. Who, and the county said that about her. I don't know, but and she just wants the records to prove that was said. So I don't see how that's impacting. I think that that's probably a reasonable request for someone to ask for some records. I don't think that has to do with. I don't see that being something where he's trying to get her to keep her job. I see, if someone's trying to sue someone, they're asking for some records. Yeah, you probably should give them the records. Okay, so Bernard's first email was sent to a fellow commissioner, Sonia Fisher, before the commission met in November 17 to consider Cohen's request. He sent the second one to a county lawyer and county administrator after the meeting. Using his government email account, Bernard urged them to comply with his wife's request, saying his family comes first. I will support my wife in any way possible, just as both of you would, he wrote. We have made huge effort to separate our relationship from work, but in this circumstance, family is number one. One of my rules has been to keep us out of court and public scrutiny. That is why I think her lawyer should be given access to the file. Whedon wrote that in Bernard's email to county administrators, the commissioner admitted that in making his request, he's putting the interests of his family first. Again, though, I'm not getting the impression that this is about her, about nepotism and the job. Reading this, I'm getting the impression that his wife, for whatever reason, wants something that the county said potentially about her in record because she's trying to sue the county. I would give it to her unless they're hiding something. Now, again, this gets into the concept and the impression that I've got is that Clackamas County